I like this one. I'm going to read this one to you too. And so we got married. I myself did this. So it's a true story that I'm telling you. I'm just relaying the message. I myself did not do this. My brother come out early. When he bought a farm south of Russell, it was just a farm, a house, a poplar pole barn, not much more. And the family, they had no stock. They really weren't farmers and were going to Edson, which was supposed to be a new and booming town. The man thought that his old trade of shoemaker would be good. Now cobblers, they don't make farmers. Remember that. Farmers make farmers. And thank the good Lord, there are enough born into the world. My brother, sure, he was a crab, as we'd say. 15 years older than I was. But he did get himself a wife. By advertisement. Oh, it was done a lot in them years. There were newspapers in Winterpeg, and he put in this advertisement and got himself a wife. And in 4 years, they had 2 young daughters. She was a Polish girl, Mary. Strong, a good soul. Oh, my older brother wrote to me, come out and get my roots down in the district. But he expected me to work for nothing. It was no life. So I went to town and I worked in one of the livery barns. On Saturday night of my 22nd birthday of that week, Mary came round to the barn and left me a birthday card. Then my brother Dan got all tangled up in a 4-horse team and a breaking plow, and that killed him. When he didn't come in, Mary went out and saw the horses standing in the brush, and she knew what had happened. Took a couple of neighbors to get him loose. He was dead anyway, bled to death. But I think he died of other things too, because that 12-inch plow, well, the point was in his side. We had the funeral. It was put on by Dan's lodge, all the men. They wore black suits. It was held on a Sunday. Mary said after that, there was no time to take a day off for a funeral. That was something I'd never thought of, making all funerals on Sunday instead of Tuesdays or Thursdays. I drove Mary home. There's no people at the house. We were too far out in the cemetery. It was in town. There was cows to milk, so I did the barn work, and then I went up to the house. I wasn't going to set out the milk pans that night. I just put the milk into the pig trough, and what was left, I threw away. See, something was on my mind. I went up to the house and asked Mary what her plans were. She said she had an aunt in Toronto and a married cousin someplace in New York. And that seemed to be about it. I asked her if she was going to leave the farm, and she said, where would I go? She had been a governess, or a lady companion, or both in Winterpeg for the Stratton family. But what could she do with 2 little kiddies out on the bald-ass prairie? So we had supper that night, and when the kids were in bed, I said the best thing would be if I married her. I remember her saying, yes, I've been thinking that myself. We're the same age. Dan was too old for me, and I think we can make it work. There's no reason why not. We shouldn't let Dan's death stop us, because there's this farm to run, and I'd rather have people talking about our marriage any way that they want than have them talking behind my back about you living here and working on the farm. That's not really what she said, but that's what she meant. The morning next after chores, I hitched up and we drove into town and we got married. Nobody said nothing. Nobody to this day. I went around the livery barn and picked up my bedroll and my rifle and my chessboard and a few other things. Then we went to the store and we bought some things and then back to the farm. And we were married people. And that's all I need to tell.